Hello everyone and welcome to SimpliCode. Today we'll be discussing CSS colors and backgrounds. Before we start, I hope the screen is clearly visible and the audio is fine. If yes, please type in yes, and if there are any issues, then do let us know in the chat section so that we can resolve them straight away. Let's wait for some more minutes so that some more people can join us. Until then, let me tell you guys that we have regular updates on multiple programming videos. So if you are a programmer and if you want to learn something new, then consider getting subscribed to our YouTube channel and press that bell icon to never miss any updates from SimpliCode. Let's go through the chat section once. And hi Reels and hi Jadav. So the audio is fine, I guess. Great. I think we can get started. Colors, we are quite familiar with the power of colors, right? So colors do have the capability to change the look and feel of anything. I'm not just talking about the web page, but colors can really make a change in any place they are being used in, right? Whether it be a lifestyle, whether it be a clothes, or whether it be anything, colors play a vital role. Now, in the same way, colors can also affect a website's look and feel. So if you imagine, like, let's say we have a website and it has a pure white background, so it won't look that much effective, right? We can change the look and feel with the help of colors only. So that's why colors do play a vital role in any website's look and feel. What colors we are talking about here? We can use colors anywhere on the site, right? So we can use them inside the boxes, we can use them in text, we can use them for background, and in so many other places as well, right? So in this tutorial, we'll see what we can do with colors in CSS and how we can do it. So let's move on to the programming part directly. Now, colors are specified using predefined color names. So basically we know the color names. I know the basic color names only, like black, blue, then we have gray, white, and red, orange, and so many such colors, right? So we can use the names directly for colors. Let's say what we are going to do is we are going to add a division first. So let's say we have a division and we want to, let's create a simple shape first. So for creating a shape, let's say we are going to create a, whatever we can create, we are going to create a rectangle, let's say. So what we have to do is we have to write here div. Now this division, it defines the container, right? It will look something different on a web page. So what we have to do is we have to write here something. So let's say we are writing over here, we are using the paragraph tag and we are writing over here welcome. Fine. Now save it, and here you can see it's written, welcome is written over here. Let me just see if we have something over here. So we are not styling this as of now. So here you can see we have plain welcome written over here on the browser. So what we can do is we can create a shape. Fine. So what we are going to do is we are going to write here inside the CSS file. So in the last video we came across how we can add CSS to an HTML document. There are 3 different ways, guys, right? So here we are using the external CSS file, using an external CSS file. So we are going to style it here. We are going to style a HTML element. So a HTML element is the div element. So what we'll do is we'll write over here div. We can either use the class name or the ID property as well, ID attributes as well. It's totally upon you guys. So right now I'm using the element name only because we have only one element. So what we are going to do is we are going to define the height first. Height is going to be, let's say, 15 pixels. And then we are going to write here width is going to be 15 pixels again. Now save it, and here you can see there's nothing, right? No change over here on the browser. So let's save the HTML part as well once. But what you can do is we are going to use the border property. So the border property, will go through this property again in the upcoming videos, but for now what we have to do is we have to define the border. So for border, what we have to do is we have to define the thickness of border first. So what we are going to do is we are going to write here 1 pixel, solid in nature, and let's give it any color name. So basically there are different ways to define a color in CSS, but this time what we are going to do is we are going to use the color name only. So let's use the basic color name. So let's say we are going to use red. And what we are going to do is we are going to save it, and the moment we save it, here you can see we have this red box present over here, right? The size is quite small, it's 15 pixels only. So what we are going to do is we are going to write here 100 pixels instead of 15 pixels. Save it, and here you can see now welcome is written inside the box, right? Within the box. Now the box size is quite fine. So another thing we can do is we can write over here, let's say text align. We are going to align the text in the center. let's say if it works. So here you can see welcome is written in the center now. The left and right side alignment are fine. We can also define the top and bottom properties as well to make it look more attractive to the user, but we are not going to do it right now. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to focus on colors only. Fine. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to use the background color. So we can set the background color of any HTML element. For example, let's move back to a HTML element first, and here you can see we have this div tag, and within this div tag we have this paragraph tag as well, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to set colors, the background color for both the div tag and the paragraph tag. Let's move on to the CSS part, and what we are going to do is we are already styling this div tag, right? So we are going to style this whole div tag. So this whole square, it is not a rectangle, sorry. So we are going to put background color in this whole square. So for that what we have to do is we have to write here background color. So background color, let's choose any of these colors. So if you are using VS Code, there are a lot of benefits of using VS Code. I'll tell them to you guys later. So right now we are going to use aqua, let's say. Save it now, and here you can see the background color is changed to aqua. The border color is still red, fine, and the background color is changed to aqua. Now one more thing we can do is you can see we have another paragraph tag present over here, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to style that tag as well. Let's see what happens. So we are going to style over here the paragraph tag. What we are going to do is we are going to change the background color of this paragraph tag only. So we'll write over here background color. Let's say we are going to use Azure. Fine, save it, and here you can see the background color for the whole paragraph is changed. You can see it's looking fine. It's not that appealing, but it looks fine, right? We can change the color, so we can use any other color here. So let's say we are going to write here tomato. Tomato is also a color. I came to know about it like few days back. Save it, and here you can see the color is changed to some tomatish, and I don't know what is the actual name of this color. It's reddish in nature, a little bit of. So there's a difference between red and this tomato color. So basically what I'm trying to say here is we can use any color name. Fine. So there are different color names like orange, blue, violet, gray, and you can use any of them. Fine. So this is how we can use the background color property. So the background color plays a vital role in making a web page more interactive to the user. The next color property we are going to use is we are going to use the font color property. Now previously what we used to do is we used to style any font with the property named font color. But now if you try to just do one thing, just go to this paragraph tag and write color over here. So this single property is for font color now. It's changed, and we can use the color property to change the font color. So let's use any color, and let's say we are going to use blue. So we have written blue over here. It's the color name actually. Save it, and here you can see welcome is changed to blue color. So what we have to do is the single color property is used to change the font color, and if we want to change the background color or any different color, the border color, we have to mention it here. Like for border we have to mention the border property, and for background color we have to mention the background color property. Fine. So this is how we can change the text color. If you want, I can add another paragraph over here. So let's not use it here, let's use it here. We are going to use the h2 tag. So we are going to use, this is an example of colors. Fine. Now save it, and if I reduce the size of our browser, here you can see we have another heading which says this is an example of colors in CSS. Basically it's that much only. Now what we are going to do is we are going to, let's do one thing, let's use the ID attribute here. By doing this we guys get used to it. So we'll write over here color 1. This is going to be the ID. Now we are going to access this particular element with the help of ID. So we'll write over here hash color 1. This is the ID. Now we have access to this particular element. This is an example of colors. This is the element. So we are going to write over here color only. Fine. So color we are going to define. Let's use any of these colors, or if you guys have any particular name in your mind, let's use yellow green. Save it, and here you can see the color is changed. Fine. This is the yellow green color for this particular element. Fine. It's working totally fine. So the color property itself is used to change the font color. Fine. Now the border color we have already discussed, but if you want to see the border color only, what we can do is we can create another div tag here. Fine. So let's create another div tag, and inside this we are going to write something again. So let's use the paragraph tag as well. So for paragraph tag, what we are going to do is we are going to write over here, welcome to our YouTube channel. Save it. Okay, so here you can see we have used another div tag. That's why we have the same style as this particular div tag, because we have styled the div tag here inside the CSS file. So for that, what we have to do is we have to write here, let's say id is equals to div1, and we are going to provide id to this div tag as well. So we are going to write here id, and id we are going to write here div2. Save it. What we have to do here is we have to mention the id here. We'll mention div1 here. Save it. And here you can see, okay, we have to style the paragraph tag as well. So basically for now, what we are going to do is we are going to remove this paragraph tag from here. Fine. So we are not going to style this paragraph tag. We are going to remove this particular line. Save it. And here you can see it's back to normal. Fine. Now what we are going to do is we are going to style this particular element. Welcome to our YouTube channel we are going to style, and we are going to add CSS border color in that. Fine. So for that, what we have to do is we have to mention here the id first. So the id is div2 for this particular element, and here we are going to write something. So let's define the border only, just border. Border is going to be, let's say, 2 pixel. This is the thickness. Solid in nature. We can also write here dashed as well, and let's use any color. I'm not too good with colors, but let's use something. So let's say we are going to use violet. Let's save it, and here you can see we have a border over here surrounding this particular element, which is violet in color, and the thickness is 2 pixel. We can also write here 5 to see if it works. Save it, and here you can see it's a 5 pixel thick border. Fine. So this is how we can use the border color. Now the last part in colors is the color values. In CSS, colors can also be specified using RGB values. RGB stands for red, green and blue. And then we have hex values as well. We have HSL values, hue, saturation and light. Then we have RGBA values, which means red, green, blue and alpha, and a lot more such values, right? We can use any of these methods to style or to use colors. Fine. So what is an RGB value? If you can see here, we have used violet. This one is the color name. Fine. So for RGB values, what we have to do is we have to define the red, green and blue. Fine. So these three colors are basically used to create any other color. So we have specific values, right? So if let me just show it to you guys. So let's say, for example, we have written red over here. Fine. What we are going to do is we are going to write here RGB, and now we have to write the proportion of red over here, then we have to write the proportion of green, and then we have to write the proportion of blue out of 255. 255 is the maximum value. So if we'll write over here, instead of red 255, and instead of green we are going to write here 0, and instead of blue we are going to write here 0 again. Now the color will be total red, because only red color has 255 values. Other colors are 0, 0. Save it, and here you can see the border is red again. So the same thing we can do here as well. This time what we are going to do is we are going to use RGB values again. Now for RGB values, we can use any value till 255. So this type of colors are quite difficult to remember, right? So we can't remember the value for every color. It's not possible. If you want to make it white, we have to write here 0 for everything. Save it. Oh, it's black. Sorry for that. If you want to make it white, what we have to do is we have to write here 255 for each, I guess. Let's see if it works or not. Save it. And here you can see it's white. For white, it's 255, 255 and 255. For black, it's 0, 0 and 0. All the colors we have falls in between these three colors. So these three values, 0 to 255 for each, red, green and blue. So that's how the RGB values work. It's quite impossible to remember these values to be very honest. So if you are using VS Code, the benefit of using VS Code is, if you can see here, if I go to this red color, this box, and if I keep my mouse over it, you can see I can choose from any color. So here you can see I can move this particular line and I can choose from any such colors. Then I can save it, and here you can see the change in color, it's blue now. So that's the benefit of using VS Code. VS Code provides us with such characteristics, or we can say such good things. Now the next value we can use is the hex value. Similar to RGB values, hex values are little bit different. So a hexadecimal color is specified with 3 different types. We are going to use the red, green and blue again. So what we have to do is, the syntax of using this hex values is, it starts with a hash, then we have to provide red, then we have to provide green, and then we have to provide 2 values of blue. So this is the syntax. Like if we want to display all black, so what we have to do is, we have to write here hash 000000. It will be all black. I can show you. So if we'll remove this RGB values from here, and if we are going to write here hex value, so what we have to do is, we have to write here hash first, then we have to write here 00, this is for red, then we have to write here 00, this is for white, and then we have to write here 00, this is for, okay, so this one, that one is for blue, and this one is for what we have, green. Save it now, and here you can see the color is black. So this is the hexadecimal value, or hex value we can say. For white we have to write here FF for red, FF for blue, then FF for green. It's going to be white. So here you can see, and similarly we can use any values, like we want FF for red, then we want 63, and then we want, let's use any number, 53. Fine. So this is the color. Save it, and you can see it's tomato like color. I'm not sure about it. You guys can let me know in the chat section which color is this. It will be good if you guys can help me with the color. Now moving ahead to backgrounds. So I hope you guys understand how colors play a vital role in creating a web page more interactive and lively to the user, right? So colors do play a vital role, and this is how we can add colors. So colors, basically we can use colors in different ways. We can use background colors, we can use font colors, we can use border colors. So these all are the colors we can use, and the number of colors we can use is immense. It's huge. Like there are way more numbers than we can even think of. So let's move ahead. And similar to colors, backgrounds also play a vital role in any web page or website. We can make certain changes in the background of any web page to make it look more appealing to the user. So let's see what options CSS provides us to make a web page look more attractive to the user. So if you can see here, we have this web page, right? So this web page has a white background. What we can do is, okay, let me just reduce the size. What we can do is, we can change the background color for this, right? So for changing the background color, we have to write here background color. Basically we have to apply it to the whole body. So that's why we are going to use here body tag, and we are going to write here something like, what we want to do is, we want to add a color in the background. Let's say we are going to write here background color. So background color we are going to write here, let's make it gold. Fine. Save it, and here you can see the whole background is yellow now. Fine. So similarly we can style the whole background with the help of background colors only. Now what we want to do is, we want to see what other things we can do with backgrounds, right? So let me just show you what other things we can do with background. Now the background property are used to add background effects, or we can say background effects styles to an element. We can talk about any background here. Like if you want to change the background of this particular box, now what we have to do is, we have to mention the background color property here. So here you can see we have mentioned the background color property. That's the same thing. This is the background of this whole particular division. It depends on where we are using this particular background property. If we are using it inside the body tag, it will change the whole background of the whole web page. Whatever things the body contains, it will change the whole background. Now it depends if we are using it inside any particular division, if we are using it inside any particular shape, it totally depends, right? So the background color property, I hope you guys are aware of it by now. Other elements what we can do is we can change the opacity. So here you can see the opacity is like this color looks nice, right? So let's change the color name. So let's say the color is going to be green. Fine, save it, and here you can see the box here has green color. Now what we can do is we can change the opacity of this. So what we have to do is we have to write here opacity. Opacity of this is going to be, let's say, 0.5. We are not going to define any measuring unit here, so save it, and here you can see the opacity changes. The opacity now is it's 0.5. It's quite transparent, right? While using the opacity property to add transparency to the background of any element or something, all of its child elements, like if I'm applying opacity to this particular box, what will happen is its child element, the child element is the paragraph tag, it will also inherit the same property. It will also be transparent by 0.5%. Fine, this can make the text inside a fully transparent element hard to read. So it will be hard to read, right? So we can use transparency using RGBA as well. For that what we have to do is we have to mention the alpha. So alpha is the same, alpha is the opacity. So what we have to do is we have to write a RGBA. Okay, we are supposed to make it, let's say, 10 pixels first. So here you can see this is the background. Now what we are going to do is we are going to remove this opacity from here, save it. So here you can see the background, the border color is blue. What we have to do is we have to put a comma over here. We have to write RGBA over here, and we have to just write here 0.327, whatever the value is. The value lies between 0 and 1 basically. So save it. Here you can see it's faded. It's 0.7. Let me just make it 0.1. Save it now, and here you can see it's almost green. It's almost transparent, right? What we can do is we can write here 0.5 again, and here you can see it's transparent. The border color basically I'm talking about here. Now we are done with the background color property. The next property we have is the background image property. Now let's do one thing. Let's keep it all here. What we are going to do is we are going to change the background image. We are going to put an image over here inside this particular web page. We are going to put the image in the background. So for that what we have to do is we have another property which is the background image. So if you are using VS Code, you can get this properties quite easily. Just write here background and it will give you all the background related properties. Fine. So for that what we have to do is we have to import a picture, right? So I have written URL over here. Let me just show you. So if we go here to a CSS folder, so here is a CSS folder. Okay, CSS folder is here. Inside the CSS folder what we have is we have this images folder, right? So we have two images present over here. What we can do is we can use these two images. We have to provide the path only. For that what we have to do is we have to move back here, and we have to write here inside the URL we have to basically provide the path. So the images are stored inside the images folder. So this is the folder name. Then we have to give a slash, and then we have to write the name of a picture. So this picture over here is named as wall.png. PNG is the extension for this picture. Now save it, and let's see if it works or not. Save it, and here you can see it's here, but the picture is not that good looking, I guess. So it's here, the picture is here. Basically this is the background picture. What we can do is we can write here position. Position is going to be relative. Save it, and just keep this picture aside right now for now. So basically we have a picture over here present in the background of this whole web page. So you can see the picture here is quite large, and we can later on change the size of this picture absolutely, but right now we are not going to do it. Fine. So basically what programmers say is it's a bad practice to insert any picture in the background. Basically what we have to do is we have to keep it simple. So for that we can either use colors, or we can just keep it white. It looks much better, or black. So that's the reason we don't use pictures too much for a background. Fine. I hope you guys are now fine with pictures, the background pictures. Another one we have is the repeat. So background repeat means if I write here background repeat, so if I have to write here background repeat, so I can use this property as well. If I use background repeat over here, what we have to do is we have to write here no repeat. Fine. Save it, and here you can see if the image is small, then it won't repeat. It will stretch it out to the whole web page. It won't repeat. So we can have different values for this particular property. We can also write here repeat to the x-axis. Save it, and here you can see nothing changed because this picture is quite larger in size. So let's do one thing. Let's use a small one. We have another picture over here in our folder. Let's use that one. Well, we'll do is we'll use image1.png. Save it now, and here you can see this picture is also big, and you can see it's repeating itself, right? This picture is here and then it's over here as well after it. So what we can do is we can write here no repeat. Save it, and let's see if it works. So here you can see it's not repeating itself now. This right side is empty now. So basically this is the actual size of this picture, and the right side is empty because we have used the no repeat property. This is the value of the background repeat property basically. So guys, this is how we can use CSS colors and backgrounds to style a web page. I hope you guys must have enjoyed the session. Now let's go through the chats once. Hello everyone, and yeah, basically if you guys have any doubts and if you guys feel that we have missed out on some important topics that we were supposed to cover in this particular tutorial, then please feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. I'm not talking about the chat section, but please drop them down in the comment section so that we can cover those topics in the upcoming video, and we'll definitely have your questions answered. Also guys, we'll consider every suggestion provided by you. So with that, this is Kaushal signing off until next time. Thank you so much guys.